Live from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN television news. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
These have been tough times, and we could all use a helping hand to get through this period. GUT Credit Union gives you the opportunity to do just that without a worry. What are you looking forward to? A relaxing staycation? Brand new appliances or devices? Consolidating your debt to get more money in your pocket? Not a member? No worries. Come in and find out how you too can make the most of this offer. Or visit us today. Yes, you can have a brighter Christmas season with GUT Credit Union. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
This is the GBN television news for Monday, November 30th, 2020. I'm Chrislyn, Lashington. In the headlines, government asks Grenada Union of Teachers to forego next year's salary increases. Teachers say no. LIAT makes inaugural post-COVID flight while ground handling agency workers threaten strike action. Health officials hit out against suggestions that the airport should be put back on lockdown because of imported COVID cases. Ginger farmer issues beware notice after he loses 600 pounds to thieves. Beyond the headlines looks ahead to 2021 budget with a Minister of Trade and a team of private sector experts. And in tonight's Untold Story, remains of what's believed to be a hospital dating back more than 100 years discovered in St. David. And in sports, horns and cowbells in blockbuster football game between Saab Spartans and Queen's Park Rangers. And in around the globe, more than 100 Cuban artists staged protests at Havana's Cultural Ministry. Trelona Charles will tell us why. We'll bring you the details right after this message.
This is GBN, the nation's news leader. This segment is brought to you by Courts Grenada Limited.
Despite the situation we now face, one thing is for certain. We will get through this together. As much as we are a part of your community, you are a part of who we are. Let's take care of each other during this time, as we always do. And soon, we know that with the dawn of that new day, all of this will be over, and our land will once again be healed. In the meantime, stay safe. Know that we're here for you. Courts, bringing value home.
Good evening. This is Network News. The government has asked, the teachers have answered with a no. The Union of Teachers says they will not cooperate with a government request to forego a 4% salary increase, which is scheduled for January next year. This is the latest installment in a series of back and forth exchanges between the union and the government of Grenada. Both sides have had a thorny relationship for the past 2 years since the government docked teachers' wages after they took industrial action over a pension agreement. Rena Pear tells us more.
It's a no to government as the nation's teachers refuse to suspend their 4% salary increase for the year 2021. The request was made by government as the country continues to face a significant financial decline due to the impact of COVID-19 over the past 9 months. Teachers say they have made many sacrifices over the years but received only harsh treatment in return. President of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Marvin Andel, in an exclusive interview with GBN on Monday, said government cannot plant corn and harvest pumpkin.
The Grenada Union of Teachers reflects on the occurrences 2 years ago, when the teachers and other public workers were maltreated in our struggle for a just and adequate pension. We recall how our government illegally and vindictively deducted huge sums from the salary of teachers and some other public officers. The illegal and cruel act caused us much pain and hardship, but we survived. The law of reaping and sowing clearly indicates that the government should not expect to plant the seeds of contempt and vindictiveness and reap the fruits of cooperation and goodwill. Therefore, It should not be too difficult to understand why teachers are saying an emphatic no to the government's request to have the 4% deferral in salary increase due in January 2021.
The president reminds teachers that the work to rule advisory is still in effect until government returns the monies that are due to them. As it relates to teachers' pension, Anders says they are still awaiting a court date.
As we await our day in court, we do find that the day is taking much too long to arrive. As it stands, the only people who qualify for a decent pension from the state since March 1985 are those we elect every 5 years. How unfair and unjust this situation is. Until such time, the struggle continues.
The Grenada Union of Teachers is calling on its membership to stay strong and united. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear reporting.
Just as airlines start returning to Grenada, economic activity is in jeopardy. Workers who provide handling and related services have been threatening to take industrial action. They are employed by the Aviation Services of Grenada, which assist passenger check-in, handling baggage, and related tasks. As has been the case among several employers on the island, ASG was forced to curtail its operations, which meant that employees' earnings were impacted. Rena Pear has been following the developments and has this update.
Executive members of the Bank and General Workers Union believes that employers must maintain their responsibility to treat workers fairly and that sacrifices must be shared by all, not just workers. The union is concerned about Aviation Services of Grenada Limited intention to cut 16 of its full-time employees through termination letters issued November 30th, 2020, while offering to pay 50% of severance benefit over a 6-month period commencing December 2020. Executive member of the union, Joseph Mitchell, says workers are entitled to 4 weeks' pay for every year of service and is legally entitled to full severance benefit no later than 7 days after termination.
We find that to be ridiculous because most of these workers, they basically have started work between 2017 to now. So the severance benefit that they're getting, really and truly, most of them have not reached $6,000, right? So you're talking about half of that, and the company is looking to spread it over a 6-month period. That, in our view, is totally unacceptable, and we are not prepared to accept that at all. So we have that situation with this group of workers.
Mitchell is further alarmed by management's insistence to pay employees currently on the roster 65% of their monthly salaries for the month of November 2020, despite the fact that it was rejected by the union.
When the flights improved, subsequently, we spoke to them again, and then they started, after much negotiation, for the month of October, they agreed that they would pay 65% of salary. And so every month from October going forward, we have to meet and negotiate. Now for the month of November, as far as the information that we have received, the company did much better, right? Much better than they did in October, but they're still looking to maintain the 65% of salary. So workers are on the ground. They work harder than before. They had to work long hours in comparison to before. But the company is still, looking to pay them the very same thing that they paid them last month. And workers is not satisfied with that. The union is not satisfied with it.
The union is calling on the management of Aviation Services of Grenada to do what is necessary to avoid a further escalation of the situation. GBN sought a comment from the managing body of ASG, but was told last Friday that an official press release will be sent to the media. Another attempt to get a response to the union's claim on Monday was responded to in a similar manner. However, up to news time, no information from ASG was forthcoming. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear reporting.
The Liat, the Caribbean airline, made its first flight back to Grenada today after an 8-month absence. Its resumption of services comes as a relief for many Grenadians who have been stranded in various Caribbean islands since the COVID-19 pandemic. Last week, a Grenadian woman in Trinidad sent out an appeal saying she has been trying desperately to return home, but to no avail due to the unavailability of intra-regional connections. Even as people clamor for the services provided by Liat and other airlines, some persons have been calling for a closure of the airport because of the spike of imported COVID-19 cases. However, health officials say there is no need to close the country's borders, despite calls for the government to revert to lockdown measures. Trelona Charles reports.
Amidst the rise in COVID-19 cases, several persons have been clamoring for the country to revert to its closed borders policies, which existed prior to August 1. However, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles says the idea of keeping the international airports closed is unrealistic. He made the comments on GBN's Beyond the Headlines program on Monday.
We can't keep our ports closed forever. We need to trade. Persons need to travel for different reasons, be it to reunite with family, to receive medical attention, for business. We need to buy medicines and food and other supplies. So our ports cannot remain closed.
He was joined by member of the COVID-19 committee, Dr. George Mitchell, who further clarified that it is in the best interest of the Grenadian public if the borders remain open. He said what is important is that adequate protocols are put in place and continue to ensure the safety of the public.
Even though they're coming with a negative test and our protocols, test them on day 4, that we are finding those persons. So we're not in this business of stopping travel, but we have to travel as safely as possible. And persons do need to go, every now and then to have vital and important things done in their lives. So that one, unless it becomes absolutely necessary, I don't see why we should encourage a total closure of our international airspace.
The government is changing the COVID-19 testing period for visitors from 7 days to 3. Persons will no longer be allowed to enter the country unless they have a laboratory-certified PCR test taken within the last 72 hours with a negative result. Dr. Charles says this is not meant to be a deterrent to visitors, but will further allow the government to reduce the risk of infected persons entering the country.
You can have a test up to 7 days before, and within those 7 days, you can have many opportunities to go out and become infected, as opposed to 3 days. Like I say, it does not mean that we are going to capture every single case, but it's just a further tightening to ensure that as best as possible, persons who are infected do not board a flight and end up in Grenada.
The change in the testing requirements for visitors will take effect from Saturday, 28th November 2020. Trelona Charles, GBN News.
As mentioned, Dr. George Mitchell and Dr. Sean Charles were guests on GBN's Beyond the Headlines program. Tonight's edition looks ahead to the 2021 budget with Minister Oliver Joseph, Michael Church, who is the Deputy Chairman of the Grenada Movement, and economist Lennox Andrews. A registered farmer in St. Andrew is appealing to vendors and consumers to be careful when purchasing ginger in the coming days and weeks. He has lost approximately 600 pounds of ginger to crop thieves and is worried that the batch, which was stolen over the last few days, could be dangerous for consumption. Farmer Tevin Alexander said about 5 days ago he sprayed his plot of ginger with a high concentration of chemicals to ward off pests, and he also recently applied artificial fertilizers to the plot. Ginger is one of the more sought-after crops at this time of the year, since ginger beer is one of the most popular drinks, which is consumed over the Christmas holidays. Alexander is pleading to consumers to err on the side of caution.
So I literally, about 2 weeks back, sprayed my ginger for ants, right, with a serious chemical for the ants, yeah? And I had just put on manure on it about last week, so about 8 days ago, right, and started covering up. And so that means the ginger has the chemical in it still and is pulling up a lot of the chemicals from the manure. Because I normally leave my ginger for about 5 months, 4 months again. So that gives it enough time for it to fully mature and develop. Yeah, so whoever stole that ginger from me is in bad trouble too, because whoever buying it probably could get sick or whatnot.
Unfortunate. And moving on, and on tonight's Untold Story, it features the ruins of what is believed to be an ancient hospital, which has been located at Belle Isle in St. David. A GBN production crew scouted the area on the weekend and compiled this report.
They are tucked away in the nooks and crannies of Grenada, waiting to be told. GBN digs deep, uncovers the untold stories. We are GBN, covering Grenada's untold stories.
Belle Isle, like its French name, which means beautiful isle, has many historic backings. One of those icons is what is believed to be the remains of a hospital that may be way over 100 years old. 56-year-old Patrick Hosford lived in the area all his life. He said his grandfather, who died at the age of 105, told him that the hospital existed before his time.
We was working with them making garden here, and by fucking up, them things just coming up. But we already know here was a hospital already by my grandparents. So as we see them things now, we just picking it up. And maybe getting it up. We come here and hold solar cover time to go and fish. And then it'll joke me. So when I do so, I see the thing in my foot, so I take it out, I say, oh, an injection needle here. So we take it and we bring it home. And they tell us there was a hospital. So not to go close, there are a lot of things there. We used to get we even get scissors and then to get stitches, all them needle. We got it, all them things. Yeah, all them things we had it.
Hosford believes there are many historic spots in the area that have been forgotten. He mentioned a few.
Like he had a mill there. That mill was in 1608. That was like all to see, but they break it up because the time they build it was there. Yeah, one down so again. But that one was a bigger one. They used to make rum also down there. They used to just grind the cane here, make the syrup, and send it down. They make rum and thing down there. He even had one in the back of it again. That's a place they call Kuma. He had a mill down there again. Well, my grandfather really had canes and things down there, real cane.
GBN spoke to 2 local historians who have been researching the history of Grenada's health facilities and promised to give their views on the Belle Isle discovery after proper analysis on a later date. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear reporting.
Wow, it's so good to hear that little story from Belle Isle. This is Network News. Still to come from us this evening, the boat which no longer hosts regular parties on the high seas has come up with a new way to engage the Grenadian public. We'll be right back.
Christmas is happening. Christmas is happening. Christmas is happening at Republic Bank. Low interest rate happening. Quick approval happening. Christmas time happening at Republic Bank.
And 2020 on a merry note at Republic Bank as we spread the holiday cheer with our Make It Happen loans. Republic Bank is here to lighten up your spirit with quick approvals and cash prizes valued at over $10,000.
Christmas is happening at Republic Bank.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Christmas in Grenada plus Flow equals a tablet for your family. Get a Samsung A7 tablet for only $80 when you add your mobile to your home services bundle. save 50% on your mobile bill and spend the holidays connected with faster internet speeds. Call us today at 1-800-804-2994 and sign up.
They say sometimes less is more, but at Real Value IGA Supermarket, we believe more is more. And since we are all about more, we want to buy more from farmers like you so we can sell more to our customers. If you have a farmer's ID and fresh produce to sell, Real Value IGA wants to buy.
For more information, contact Real Value IGA on WhatsApp at 405-4405 or give them a call at 439-2121.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, Daisy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
When I need shelter, warmth, security, I know you'll be there. Something in these moments lets me know you care. Maybe the way you shield me, maybe it's your smiles and the way you tell me it's okay to try. I can pack my sack, I can take the long road, 'cause it's okay to look back if I am scared. I know you're there. Arise, together there's no limit to what we can do. Arise, with no wings, fly. Arise, and we're so high, enjoy the view. Arise, look, no wings, fly.
This is Ariza, your financial freedom, your future.
Introducing the new Digicel Prime Bundle. It's simply more bundled together. 54 gigs for 7 days for only $25. More data, more fun. Activate today on the My Digicel app.
It leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
Christmas is happening. Christmas is happening. Christmas is happening at Republic Bank. Low interest rate happening. Quick approval happening. Christmas time happening at Republic Bank.
And 2020 on a merry note at Republic Bank as we spread the holiday cheer with our Make It Happen loans. Republic Bank is here to lighten up your spirit with quick approvals and cash prizes valued at over $10,000.
Christmas is happening at Republic Bank.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Which design will become the national wear of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique? Designers wait with bated breath for the announcement of the winning designs as the competition entered its final stage. The semi-final of the competition was held on Saturday at the Grenada National Stadium. Chrislyn John was there and brings us this report.
5 designers modeled both their formal and casual male and female designs in front of a panel of judges, with the hope that their designs will grab the attention of the judges to be used as the country's national wear. The lone male designer in competition, Vonel Coffey, spoke with GBN about his design, which had a bit of African twist to it.
Basically, it's from a bit of our African history. During slavery, some of the slave came down with some of the traditions. Like on my design, I use the Adrinka symbols. Those are the symbols we probably might even really notice. It's used a lot in wrought iron, and a lot of the information we might just kind of get lost during the years. So on the male design, I use a Adrinka symbol symbolizing strength for the male, and on the women, I have the symbolizing wisdom and learning.
Tamara Prosper is another of the designers in the final 5. She had 4 pieces in the competition. She said it was stepping out of her comfort zone of making jewelry, but wants Grenadians to be proud of what we have. Prosper wants her pieces to be a boost to Grenada's tourism product and tells of what makes her design different from the rest.
What was very stand-outish or differentiated for my designs was the fact that we use a physical, tangible element of Grenada, which is our spices, our nutmegs. So we created a statement spice sash, which is attachable, which is sewable onto our national wear, which comprises cinnamon, nutmeg shells, mace, and so on. And the objective of that is to create a talking point when we represent our country internationally.
The only duo in competition, Gerald Langine Thompson and Mary Joseph, says their pieces include crochet. They felt honored to be part of the final lineup.
The designs, they were inspired by our history, Grenadian history. We chose to use white as one of the main body colors for our designs because we are pure Grenada, and that's one of the best we could have explored that. And additionally as well too, we also trimmed all of our looks with red, green and yellow. There is no other national way of the world that uses crochet in their designs. So I am a designer, but Mary's her field is crochet. So when we came in together, we decided to marry 2 of our areas of expertise and come up with the collection that we have now. So we chose to incorporate crochet because it's not only that it's something that's Grenadian, something that's cultural.
The general public will also have their say as part of the competition. Shama Wells is the CEO of Grenada Cultural Foundation.
We're looking forward with a lot of optimism that we're able to finalize on a national wear, at least for Independence 2021, whatever that may be. I use the word a semi-final because the public will have a say as well. So once this process is finished, we'll be making posters that we'll be placing throughout the island and in Carriacou and Petit Martinique as well, so that the public can also vote onto what they would like to wear as their national wear. It's so important that as a people, we participate in that process because
according to Wells, the winner should be announced in time for Independence 2021. Chrislyn John, GBN News.
I know I saw a dress I would definitely wear in there. Such a great initiative. Moving on, they say that necessity is the mother of invention. Well, the company Best of Grenada has found a new way to engage the Grenadian public since it cannot engage in its regular business activity due to the COVID-19 regulations. Trelana Charles takes us aboard the popular Rum Runner, but it's not leaving the port, at least not yet.
As COVID-19 continues to impact the globe, many local businesses have had to completely reinvent their operations to remain afloat. One such business is that of the Rum Runner cruise line, which has not been able to operate in its usual capacity since March, but now houses Best of Grenada's boat market, where local food, art, and craft vendors can come together to meet a common goal, bringing in business despite the impact of COVID-19. GBN spoke to one of the small business owners, Tamara Prosper of Run by Tamara, who encourages other entrepreneurs to utilize innovation and creativity to operate their businesses during the pandemic.
For some of the avenues I would encourage entrepreneurs to use so that they can minimize cost and maximize revenue is to utilize things like social media for advertising. Use their phone, get a nice high quality picture, take photos of their products and put it out to the public, you know, and in that way your audience is able to build. And for free, I think persons should be accessible, make sure that the products that they do are of a high quality, it is consistent. Even if the quantity is small, the quality should be high. persons should place a little emphasis on labeling. So I think most of the costs should go into labeling. So the perception of the quality of the product is high.
Ms. Prosper said she thinks there is plenty room for improvement when it comes to highlighting the importance of small businesses to the economy.
I think because these businesses are the lifeblood of the economy, they're the ones who make the money turn. But I think more can be done in terms of having avenues so that products can be showcased, more promotion via social media, via the traditional media. I also think that government and trade can play a more active part, maybe in training for branding, packaging, things like that.
Theresa Msaki, another small business owner who specializes in agro-processing, says sales can often be slow and encourages Grenadians to support locally made products.
So far, I have one supermarket. I expecting to introduce it to other supermarkets, and the supermarket that I have, the product is kind of slow. We invite people to eat more local products so that people like me who are doing farming and processing, we could get sales to our products.
As the pandemic continues to affect us all and the season of gift giving approaches, it may just be the perfect time to buy locally made products. The boat market will be open from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday to Friday from now and throughout the Christmas season. Trelana Charles, GBN News.
More art. A local artist is trying to change the concept that the mall is a place for tourists and visitors. She has launched an art gallery to encourage more Grenadians to support local talent.
A platform has been created for local artists and artisans. It is the vision of Carol John, an artist brought to reality. Art and Spices Gallery was opened last Saturday at the Esplanade Mall, St. George. Art and Spices, as the name says, is an incorporation of arts and spices. On display are merchandise all locally produced, handcrafted and painted. Owner of Art and Spices, Carol John, tells of her inspiration.
I did a couple of exhibitions and they were fine, but I think sometimes some places people don't feel they have an opportunity to be in an environment where they can actually exhibit. So maybe they feel they don't fit in, or the work, maybe they feel the quality is not there, or I don't know what. It depends on the environment. But as I said, but that doesn't mean that we're not. There's a lot of other untalented people that don't feel they have a space. And that's really what I'm trying to create, is a space for those things.
John believes pricing may be one of the deterrents why people don't support art locally. Her intent is to change all this by making art affordable.
Work is, I do some visuals in the sense of a lot of it is here. So I have some pieces on the wall. So the one with the ladies is, I like color, I like movement. And the one with the ladies there is like they're having a discussion. But if you see the other ones with the three ladies, it's just sort of very splashy. But I have to see what I'm doing. So they make their own story to promote and also encourage people to buy art. You know, it's not a print, at least it's something original. And if you can't afford something original, the prints are really not, the prices are reasonable.
Anna Costa is one of the persons whose local pieces are on display at Art and Spices.
I made jewelry with natural things. I use Grenadian things, like sticks, coral, shells, like this.
David Ambrose is a local author who welcomes the initiative. His books can also be found at the gallery.
That is such a great idea, and the store promotes the works of Grenadian creatives. We have the work of painters in here. We have other people with their different types of art and craft, herbs and spices and so on. So it's a place not just for visitors when they pass through this mall, but also for the locals to come. We don't have too many opportunities to place our work in different stores. So this is one of those where we could tell people, hey, come to Art and Spice in the mall in St. George's, the Esplanade Mall, and you could get a copy of our books.
Chrislyn John, GBN News.
And now we turn our attention to the musings of our viewers and listeners. It's time to tap into the social buzz with Trelona Charles.
This is Social Buzz, where we shine a light on the thoughts and concerns of our online audience. Last week, GBN discovered challenges at the Mount Gay Hospital facility. The issue of bug infestation has been named as one of the major problems at the Mount Gay Hospital facility. Another is that of residents sleeping on the cold concrete floor with nothing else but a bedsheet. Our online viewers did not hesitate to make their views on the issue known. Masha commented, "Yes, this is urgency, not another runway. Our health is at stake." She was not finished, adding, "The people in the Ministry of Health, bugs are not biting them when they are sleeping. They are sleeping comfortably. This is what they should study." Another viewer said, "These people are mothers, fathers, uncles. They might be crazy, but the people are just like us. This is so sad." Ella commented, "God help these people there. They are going through so much already, and now this. Come on, Ministry of Health, this is unacceptable." Dunbar had a lot to say. He said, "If the staff or cleaners or Mount Gay administration was doing their job, there'd be no bedbug infestation. Simple cleaning and mopping on every shift with commercial bleach and other cleaning liquids would have prevented all this. But we know how the mentally challenged are scorned upon, even at the institution that is supposed to care and nurse them back to stable health. If the staff do not want to work, then leave the job." That's it for tonight's Social Buzz. As always, if you would like to have your thoughts and concerns shared, remember to comment on GBN's Facebook page.
From the thought process to the visual impact, it's time to take a peek through the lens of the GBN I Saw.
A good eye captures all. GBN I Saw is brought to you by Clear Vision.
You know us, but we knew. You feel at home with every visit. An experienced team offering personalized courtier service and trendy brand name lifestyle products. Rechanging the vision care landscape one customer at a time. Clear Vision Eye Center. People and technology coming together to help you see the world with a clearer vision.
In tonight's I Saw, our citizen journalist Hayden Redhead posted a photograph of his first yellow watermelon fruit approximately 32 days after the plant germinated. Redhead estimated, just by a hunch, that it will be another 30 to 40 days before the watermelon can be harvested if it is preserved and kept away from any animals. Originating in Africa, this yellowish kind of watermelon is said to have a somewhat sweeter flavor than its red cousin. You can send your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Juicy. Still ahead, Grenadians abroad get a briefing on the new travel requirements which have been implemented by the Ministry of Health. We'll bring you the details right after this message.
Tropical shipping is fast and reliable. Always on time, safe and affordable. Friendly staff here to connect you. Tropical worldwide, you must get you. Shop online and you get it on time. Hassle free to meet your deadline. Consolidate any size, any load. With Tropical shipping, so we ship everything. I can't wait to ship with Tropical. I can't wait. No package too big, too small. I cannot wait to ship with Tropical. No package too big, too small. Just ship with Tropical.
Local agents, George F. Huggins and Company, Grenada Limited. Telephone number 440-8787 or visit our website at www.tropical.com. Email us at grenadasales@tropical.com. Tropical Shipping, committed to island life.
It's new, innovative and classy, and a cut above the rest. Your one-stop shop for bathtubs, kitchenette, customized doors and windows, and even a new paint job. We also sell quartz and solid surface countertops. At M&N Hardware, we offer best prices, excellent service, efficiency, and reliability. Visit us at Dusty Highway, Grandin, St. George, or call telephone number 440-6757. M&N Hardware, from foundation to roof. Let's build together.
Hills and Valley Med Care Center, located on Grenville Street, St. George's, has a highly professional team that gives excellent service in massage therapy, physiotherapy, speech therapy, medical consultation, and more. Hills and Valley Med Care Center sells a wide range of medical supplies, offers home visits for patients in Grenada and Carrier Crew, and opens Monday to Saturday, 10 a.m. through to 7 p.m. Visit or call Hills and Valley Med Care Center today, 435-6904.
Despite the situation we now face, one thing is for certain. We will get through this together. As much as we are a part of your community, you are a part of who we are. Let's take care of each other during this time, as we always do. And soon, we know that with the dawn of that new day, all of this will be over, and our land will once again be healed. In the meantime, stay safe. Know that we're here for you. Courts, bringing value home.
This is GBN. We've got the means, the power, and the medium. This segment is brought to you by Flow.
Christmas in Grenada plus Flow equals a tablet for your family. Get a Samsung A7 tablet for only $80 when you add your mobile to your home services bundle. Save 50% on your mobile bill and spend the holidays connected with faster internet speeds. Call us today at 1-800-804-2994 and sign up.
Scores of Grenadians in the diaspora participated in an informative session with Health Minister Nicholas Steele on Sunday. They focused on the new Grenada travel certificate and updated COVID-19 protocols to enter the country. Details in this report.
A Grenada Diaspora information session was facilitated virtually on Sunday with the aim to provide clarity to Grenadians in the diaspora wishing to return home on the new Grenada travel certificate with regards to COVID-19 protocols. The session, held via Zoom, was also streamed live on the Facebook page of the High Commission of Grenada in the United Kingdom. Over 130 participants attended the session, which was formatted to allow participants to voice their concerns to Health Minister Nicholas Steele.
There is no, from what I could find so far, there is no facility where you can get test results within 24 hours. So with the 72-hour window and the 48-hour, no later than 48-hour window to apply for the Pure Safe travel certificate, it's impossible, pretty much.
I want to thank you. That's a great way to start this off, because that should have been in my preamble as well. The ministry has to take, and I have to take personal responsibility in what I would refer to as a miscommunication. The process of getting your PCR test and the process of applying for the entry certificate are two independent parallel processes, and I think we didn't spend enough time to explain that. Ambassador for Diaspora Affairs and Consul General in Toronto, Canada, Derek James, was the moderator during the session. He said the airlines, specifically Air Canada, have been making extra efforts to ensure the safety of all passengers by partnering with other companies.
Scott, Air Canada
on Friday announced that they are teaming up with Shoppers Drug Mart to do testing for travelers on Air Canada. That will start on the 7th of December at specific shop marts. So we will try to get as much information about the locations of those shop marts and pass it on to the public.
Some new entry protocols will take effect from tomorrow, December 1st. Most recently, there was a move from the requirement of a 7-day PCR test from the date of travel to one no older than 72 hours. That change in the testing period followed a collective decision taken at a recent OECS meeting. Canada has recorded over 300,000 COVID-19 infections to date. For GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
The tide has shifted for employees at the Spice Island Beach Resort. After serving all employees with retrenchment letters in September, the bargaining union for the workers, the Technical and Allied Workers Union, says the company rescinded that offer when the financial settlements offered by the resort were not accepted. President General of TAWU, Andre Lewis, says this change of mind may be too late, as 68 of the 100-plus workers accepted the company's offer of retrenchment, but only with their full benefits.
Once the hotel said, look, we're sending them everybody. Once the hotel officially did this, people now have to start to look at what are the alternatives for them, because they have to look at the possibility of alternative employment. Because if you are sending me home on your terms and conditions, it therefore means that I will be without a job. And whereas the union, in discussing the matter with the workers, kept advising the workers, although you have that right, it is not something that we think that you should implement. I can clearly recall that engagement with the company management when it was the union that were calling on the company to take a different approach. No, they find themselves in hot water. They want to try to undo it and want to threaten the workers about abandoning job and all kind of different things. Yes, the hotel has brought this onto themselves.
Lewis says the present situation can be solved only if the hotel management plays their role.
Continue to hope that, as I said, we went to the Ministry of Labor. Yes, we went to the Ministry of Labor. So there is expected to be a recommendation from the Ministry for Labor. But that does not mean that the hotel will accept. I'm hoping that they will accept. If they accept, then the matter is resolved. At the same time, we are not closing our door to, and we told the Labor Commissioner that in the presence of the company, even if you engage in industrial action, we have never shut the door to discussing matters. So we will be willing to have any engagement with the company because our intention is an amicable resolution of the matter.
GBN sought a comment from the managing body of the Spice Island Beach Resort and was told by manager Brian Hardy that they will not discuss the matter in a public domain as it is unresolved. This is GBN News at 7. We'll be right back.
Communal, we are adapting to meet the changing needs of our shareholders and members. Times are changing, and with the changing times comes a whole new way to do business. Our parents may have done their banking a different way. Communal's state-of-the-art online banking and international debit card allows members to do business with great ease. It's like literally having a branch in your very own hands. Need a loan? Apply online from the comfort of your own home anywhere in the world, and your request will be dealt with remotely. Want to transfer between your accounts or another shareholder? No wait time for transactions to update. Voila! Who needs receipts when you can receive them via e-statements on your mobile device and save the environment? Not a communal member? You can join our family today by applying online. At Communal, we see you working hard to ensure that you save, invest, and grow. Communal. Join us today. This will be the best financial decision you have ever made.
you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Ofio.com.
Sale. All the outlets, hotspot outlets. You're going to go to the Carnage, the Grenville, or the Sutter's hotspot, and you get sales and deals on all items. You can get these on potato, you can get these on saltfish, onion, garlic, mackerel, toilet paper, and we even have the currants and the raisin at $10 per pound, lowest price island-wide. So people just come down or go up or go across, but just make sure and go to hotspots.
Keeping an eye on the weather, this is GBN. We've got you covered. Tonight's weather is mostly fair with few light, brief showers. Winds east-northeasterly at 12 to 22 miles per hour. Seas moderate with waves 4 to 6 feet in open waters. Low tides at 10 p.m. and high tides in the morning at 4 a.m. Tonight's minimum temperature, 25 degrees Celsius. No warnings are currently in effect. Now for a look at your 3-day weather forecast. Tomorrow, Tuesday, December 1st, sunrise and sunset at 6:13 a.m. and 5:41 p.m. The weather, mostly fair, with few light, brief showers. On Wednesday, sunrise and sunset at 6:13 a.m. and 5:41 p.m. respectively. The weather, partly cloudy, with few light, brief showers. And on Thursday, December 3rd, sunrise and sunset at 6:14 a.m. and 5:42 p.m. respectively. The weather then, partly cloudy with few light to moderate showers, increasing in cloudiness at night with more frequent showers. At present, there are no warnings in place for the next 3 days.
It was an electrifying atmosphere at the Karani James Athletic Stadium as the final 4 teams sought to gain 2 of the qualifying spots in the WAGG Super Knockout Football Tournament. Jared Joseph followed the action on Sunday.
It was an epic battle on the football field on Sunday. The atmosphere buzzed with the songs of horns and cowbells as fans turned out to spawn their various teams. Jamal Gittins netted the 2 deciding goals for Sab Spartans as they overcame a barrage of attacks from Queen's Park Rangers. It became a physical contest in the second half, Rangers unable to convert their chances, with the match ending 2-1 in favor of Spartans. This is the first time Sab Spartans has ever gone past the first round in the Wagiti Super Knockout Football Tournament, and Vice President of Sab Spartans Edward Fortune says he was pleased with his team's performance.
Well, it's a very exciting moment for us. We has been training very hard. The guys has went through a lot of fitness training. We do the technical part of the training and we're hype and ready to go. Yeah, you can expect a lot from Sab Spartans Sports Club. We has been working very hard and we has been preparing. We have the coach Joel Greenidge. He has been working. The teammates are very hyped. The strikers are ready, and we think that we're ready to take on the Kamahan FC.
Sab Spartans now face FC Kamahan, who is also playing in their first semi-finals after Kamahan defeated St. David's 4-2 on Saturday. The second match on Sunday was like a demolition on a construction site as four-time champions Paradise FC International thrashed Shamrock 13-0. Captain Irvin Smith was among the scorers. Joshua Isaac netted 4, Sergio Lewis 4, and Stefan Abraham 3.
Well, we've been training a long time, and we have a good unit. And the coach gave us instruction to go outside and just knock the ball and just free up. And I guess I'm that way it's all about that we come out to the victory.
Paradise takes on rivals Hurricanes SC, who beat Fontana United 5-1 to advance in the second semi-finals on the weekend. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN Sports.
We move from kicking the ball to batting the ball. The Grenada Cricket Association's executive remains unchanged as it hosted its biannual general meeting on the weekend. All positions were up for contention. However, there were no changes as the entire outgoing executive returns en bloc for the second consecutive time in office. Dwayne Gill returns as president, Anderson Noel as first vice president, and Johnson Richardson as second vice president. Kerry Frank returns as secretary, and his two assistant secretaries are Paulette Bola-Hankey and Cyprian Forsyth, while Rupert Holus retains his role as treasurer. Parish representatives who will be nominated by the various councils to represent their interest will complete the executive. The third and final T20 International of the West Indies Tour of New Zealand was called off after just 14 balls due to heavy rain. West Indies were asked to bat first and reached 25 for 1 of 2.2 overs. New Zealand won the series 2-0 following their wins by 5 wickets in the first match at Eden Park on Thursday and by 72 runs in the second contest at the Bay Oval on Saturday. West Indies were outplayed by New Zealand in the second match as Glenn Phillips struck a superb maiden century to pilot New Zealand to a massive total of 238 for 3. His career best knock came off just 51 balls with 10 boundaries and 8 sixes. West Indies were restricted to 166 for 9 in their 20 overs. The two teams will now travel to Hamilton for the first test match at Seddon Park starting on Wednesday. Viewer discretion is advised for the video used in this story. Lewis Hamilton took his 11th victory of the season in a Bahrain Grand Prix, notable for a violent, fiery crash by Haas driver Romain Grosjean. Grosjean was taken to a hospital with burns to the back of both hands after his car pierced the barriers on the first lap. The burning Haas was trapped sideways in the barrier with nearly 30 seconds passing before Grosjean climbed clear as medical crew rushed to help. Hamilton was in control throughout to beat Red Bull's Max Verstappen. That's it. That's sports right here on GBN News at 7.
Good evening, I'm Trelawna Charles. Join me tonight as we take a look at what's happening around the globe. Liat is returning to the skies, and even with possible investors, there will still be a challenge to sustain the airline in the air. With COVID-19 protocol adjustments to the amount of passengers the airline will accommodate and the amount of people traveling, Liat needs over $3 million a month to sustain itself.
The government of Antigua and Barbuda is currently the only source of funding for Liat. Court-appointed Administrator Cleveland Seaforth is hoping the airline will be able to sustain itself when it returns to the Caribbean skies on a new schedule next week.
We need to bring in between $3 million to $4 million EC dollars per month, okay, to be able to stand the strain.
He says this is possible if the airline gets at least 12 passengers per flight on its 48-seater aircraft. COVID-19 is still a major challenge, he says.
The question mark is the impact of COVID, right? We do not know the extent to which people are going to want to travel.
Regional governments changing their travel protocols is also a concern. He says the airline has had to revise its return date a few times because of this. Even as the airline looks ahead, it is still burdened with liabilities from the past. Seaforth says Liat's debt falls into three main categories: obligations to severed employees and monies owed to the governments of the region as well as creditors. He says all the governments have agreed in principle to write off the debts owed to them, and some have already sent letters confirming this. Liat owed the government a total of 76 million EC dollars. He says the government of Antigua and Barbuda has also taken responsibility for repaying Liat's debt to the Caribbean Development Bank. As it relates to Liat's 387 creditors, an aggregate debt of $84 million was owed. He says so far 70 have agreed to write off debt amounting to 3.6 million EC dollars.
We are still in discussions with a number of them, and so far only 20 of them have outright said no. They are not prepared to write off any debt.
Some 564 workers have been formally terminated and are owed severance pay. Other debt to past workers, including vacation and retroactive payments, total 119 million EC dollars. The administrator says none of this has so far been paid, and a source of funds is yet to be identified. He says more discussions will have to go into the payment of monies owed to past employees as prospective investors are quoted.
Some have made it clear that any investment into a Liat or a new Liat, they would not be considering the payment of severance and the payment of past debt. While there are other people we are in discussions with that are prepared to look at it.
Seaforth says in the meantime, Liat has been in discussions with unions for 50% reduction in salaries. Jamie J. O'Shea, ABS News.
More than 100 Cuban artists have held a protest outside the Culture Ministry in Havana against what they say is a state crackdown on dissent. The protest comes after police broke up a hunger strike calling for the release of a jailed rapper. Al Jazeera's Cara Legg reports.
A rare show of public dissent on the streets of Havana. Protests like this are not allowed on the island, but many of Cuba's most prominent artists say they've had enough of what they're calling a government crackdown, mainly against younger people.
It's time for dialogue, and I think it's important that young people are heard, and we're going to work for that.
This demonstration follows a police raid on the headquarters of a prominent dissident group. Its members were holding a hunger strike, demanding the release of a rapper jailed for 8 months for insulting a police officer. Cuban authorities say they violated coronavirus measures, but they accuse the government of using the restrictions as a pretext.
The government authorities dressed as doctors and got into the ambulance and came here and entered the house as doctors. They broke down the door of the house and beat them.
Rights groups and the international community have criticized the action, with a top U.S. State Department official calling on Cuba's government to respect human rights. The artists say they won't back down until they've met high-level officials. The government monopolizes mass media in Cuba and claims these groups are funded by the U.S. government to subvert the state. Those protesting hope rallies like these will help take their cause to a wider international audience. Kara Leg, Al Jazeera.
Singer and actress Cher has traveled to Pakistan to help save an elephant who has spent decades chained up and mistreated in a zoo in Islamabad. Kavan has been alone since his partner died in 2012, has become obese due to a poor diet, and suffers with behavioral issues. The battle to have him relocated began in 2016, and 4 years later, with the help of the pop superstar, he has now been relocated to an animal sanctuary in Cambodia.
She is a global superstar. He is probably the world's loneliest elephant. For the best part of 20 years, Gavan has been living in Islamabad Zoo, mistreated, chained, and all alone. The 35-year-old overweight bull elephant is now being rescued by a powerful international advocate. It was in 2016 when Cher first learned of Gavan's plight. With her wildlife protection charity, she hired a legal team to press for the elephant's freedom. In May this year, the High Court in Pakistan ruled that Gavan should be set free. The Oscar-winning actress called it one of the greatest moments of her life.
It's more than clear that you can't keep elephants alone, and not in such an environment. And of course, this is a huge animal welfare issue.
Gavan is now on his way to his new home in Cambodia, where plenty of other elephants are waiting for him in their 1 million-acre wildlife sanctuary. But doctors say even there, he will require years of physical and psychological assistance.
I have the feeling Gavan is waiting to go to his new home, where he will be an elephant, he will be retired, and he will have 3 ladies, Asiatic elephant, are waiting for him there.
Gavan only ended up in Pakistan after the former military ruler, General Zia-ul-Haq, persuaded Sri Lanka to make a present of the elephant to his daughter. For years, Gavan has entertained crowds from just a small, barren patch of land, treated poorly and forgotten by many. But not anymore. From now on, his desolate enclosure will only be a bad memory as the big old bull embarks on a new life in a new land. Inzamam Rashid, Sky News.
That's it for tonight's look around the globe. Up next, a reminder of tonight's top stories.
A recap of the headlines. Government asks Grenada Union of Teachers to forego next year's salary increases. Teachers say no. Liat makes inaugural post-COVID flight while ground handling agency workers threaten strike action. Health officials hit out against suggestions that the airport should be put back on lockdown due to imported COVID cases. Ginger farmer issues beware notice after he loses £600 to thieves. And in tonight's Untold Story, remains of what's believed to be a hospital dating back more than 100 years discovered in Belle Isle, St. David. In sports, horns and cowbells in blockbuster football game between Sab Spartans and Queen's Park Rangers. And in Around the Globe, more than 100 Cuban artists stage protest at Havana's Cultural Ministry to protest the arrest of Cuban musician. If you missed any part of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at www.gbn.gd or follow the Facebook page or the YouTube channel for these and other stories. I'm Chrislyn Lashington. That's the news. We'll see you again. Good night.